All praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Charakakadash, the honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutes, shouts to the sincere elect out there. Keep pushing, keep striving, keep fighting. We're almost out of this bitch. So just been checking out this series, deep sea encounters underwater, right? With chariots, they call them UFOs or UAPs, and they got them looking something like this. But we're gonna use we're gonna yam the meat, we're gonna dash away the bones. I'm gonna let you hear some of the audio, and they're saying, according to what they're saying, right? You got all these astronauts, you got submarines experiencing. They're saying one of the most chilling encounters that they've had with these UFOs back in 1982, the Soviet Navy. So, without further ado, let's check it out. We're going to bring out the scriptures. They are in doubt, they are in wonderment, but we are in the know, right? The people of the Lord, right? So-called black people, the elect of the black people, we are fully briefed. They don't know what's going on, but we're fully in the know. Most High gave it to us. He revealeth his secrets to the prophets. So let's check it out.
Speculate about the intent of these USOs. Was this a hostile act of some sort, or were they just fleeing detection? We don't know.
If the declassified reports are true, could this mean the Russians really had encountered a squadron of underwater extraterrestrial spacecraft?
If you can travel that fast underwater, water is just another medium, so their craft can fly underwater just like they can above water. That tells me that these aren't conventional technology. It's nothing earthly made.
What we're dealing with here is very clearly advanced technology. So we have to draw the conclusion that perhaps this is some sort of extraterrestrial technology that we're dealing with. That's what makes this case so compelling. The speed, the movement of the objects, and the rate that they disappeared. It's incredible.
Perhaps the most chilling encounter described in Russia's declassified reports doesn't involve unidentified submersible objects, but the alien creatures believed to inhabit them. Siberia, 1982. With a depth of 5,387 feet.
So we're going to go with that. They're calling them aliens. We're going to go with that. But when you hear the description, something what we've been hearing, creatures 9 foot tall, right? And you got the what they're calling equipment there. That could be the afros underneath the equipment. But I'm gonna let you decide.
Lake Baikal is the deepest freshwater lake in the world. Here, Russian Navy divers are conducting routine research operations. Given the depth of the lake and its frigid temperature, very little is known about what lies beneath the surface. 7 Russian divers are submerged at a depth of 150 feet, when suddenly the frogmen realize they are being watched.
These strange humanoid figures were much bigger than human beings and appeared to be wearing helmets of some sort. What on earth are we to make of an encounter like this? It's one thing to talk about USOs, but quite another to talk about humanoid entities deep in the lake.
These were large beings, human shaped but like 9 feet tall, wearing what seemed like very tight-fitting silvery suits. Not your normal...
Sounds familiar. 9 feet tall. Ain't that something what the that high official said in the interview? Dr. Norman Bigrun. He said they was a conservative 7 foot, but around 9 feet tall. So that sounds familiar.
Scuba gear, basically, swimming in the water, what they've come to call the swimmers of Lake Baikal.
What were these creatures? Why did they not seem to use what we would be using to sustain life? There were no oxygen tanks. So there are lots of interesting facets to this.
So they don't need breathing apparatus, right? The Most High is what? The Father of spirits. And even if they're calling them something humanoids, even if they're calling them humanoids and they're humanoids, Most High is in control of everything. most likely angels, they're angels with if they don't need breathing apparatus, they're just walking under the water. Most High is in control of everything, the Father of spirits, and from him, right, we're going to go on to hear what happens. We're going to let you hear what happens.
Have creatures that are underwater and surviving with technology that we don't comprehend.
The Russian divers then make a fateful decision and attempt a capture.
The divers attempted to capture one of these creatures, but at this point, so the documents say, the entities reacted.
A powerful unknown force suddenly propels the entire group of divers up from the deep water to the surface.
They did a rapid rise to the surface of the water. Well, when you do that too fast, you suffer from decompression and you get the bends, and it's deadly. There were 7 of these divers, and 3 of them died. And 4 were very severely injured as a result of this.
Why did these creatures react the way that they did? I have to think that when we began to act aggressively, when the divers wanted to capture one of these creatures and throw a net over it, that...
Duh! How dumb are you, these Edomites? How dumb are they, man? How dumb are they?
perhaps they were reacting in a defensive way when they expelled the divers to the surface.
If we can believe what we've read in the reports, these are extraterrestrial beings, something otherworldly.
Could these Lake Baikal creatures really be from another world, as UFO researchers believe? According to Russian documents, the surviving divers were too shaken to speak about the incident. But UFO researchers believe the Russian government is silencing them from speaking out. And if so, what could the Russian government have been trying to keep secret?
Silencing them. The government are silencing the Russian divers, the ones that survived. The 4 that was severely traumatized, 3 of them was deleted, 4 of them were severely wounded and traumatized, and they was discouraged by the government not to speak out. But how dumb are they, trying to catch something that you can't even understand? They can breathe underwater, but you're still trying to capture them. He's never learned. And number 2, what are they doing? What are they doing there?
They would be concerned about the potential threat, but they'd also be intrigued to know what these entities were, what the technology that they possessed was, and of course, could they acquire that technology themselves? And indeed, weaponization is always something at the back of the mind of any government official looking at the UFO and indeed USO mystery. If there's a technology down there more advanced than our own, we want it.
Yeah, that's your problem. Greed. That's your problem. Greed. And trying to capture the what you're calling humanoids in Lake Baikal, trying to capture them, so you can do what? Reverse engineer, greed, and weaponize. So what was you doing there? Number 1, what was you doing there? Number 2, trying to capture the humanoids, which you don't even understand. The Most High's superior angels, or wherever they are, what the Most High is in control of them, right? There could be, angels. You got demons that the Most High is in control of, the left hand side and the right hand side. In Revelations chapters 4, it describes different so-called angels. One with a lion face, one that's like an ox or a bull, one like an angel, one like a human, with the human features. And also you got Ezekiel 1 describing angels, different types of angels, as they're calling them, humanoids. So the thing is, we're going to hit some precepts. I just wanted to tap in something. Once again, this is the underwater, UFOs underwater, deep sea encounters. I just tapped in Google. How many, as far as they're talking about government officials, and I listed here, top presidents who claim to have seen UFOs. Because this is somewhat, you don't hear much about these things. They're coming out now though. They're coming out now. While many presidents have been briefed on UFOs, Jimmy Carter is the only UFO president to have explicitly claimed to have seen one himself. Right? He's just one example here, but there's a lot of others. Reportedly, the UFO sighting in Georgia in 1969. Additionally, Ronald Reagan reportedly witnessed a UFO in 1974, though not while president, though. Presidents who reported UFO sightings here, we've got a list of them here. Jimmy Carter, and what did he say? I just read that one. Ronald Reagan in 1974, before he presently Reagan was reportedly on a plane when he and the pilot saw a bright light that moved at an incredible speed. He said to have discussed the sighting with the pilot and reporter. Here's another one. Presidents who witness UFOs without claiming to have seen one. Barack Obama has confirmed that there are footage and records of objects in the sky that we won't know exactly what they are, and that these are taken seriously and investigated. Donald Trump, what did he say? So we've got Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, Barack Obama, and Donald Trump. And there's another one, Richard Nixon. They haven't got him here listed there. But yeah, there's a lot of them. There's a whole lot of presidents which the Mossad be sending them signs, as they did also with all the former, what was that guy's name? Christopher Columbus had an experience with them. Alexander the Great had an experience with him. He claimed to, and all of these, a lot of these really official people or prominent people have had run-ins, and they always come unstuck, right? Sometimes the Mossad lets them survive, or sometimes he gives them a little warning. Here's Donald Trump, what he had to say. Donald Trump, when asked about UFOs, Trump has given evasive answers, stating that he would not reveal what he knows, and that Roswell is a very interesting place. Right, we're going to hit some precepts. Just wanted to get some of the quotes from some of the presidents who have had run-ins with UFOs. This was a case where they say this was one of the most chilling encounters. There's been a lot of them, and I'll be watching them. Future videos, no doubt, and we'll do future videos on a lot of the encounters they've had, and a lot of them. In this one, three of their submarine men was deleted, trying to put a net over one of their what they're calling humanoids, trying to grab one. 3 of them was deleted. They just put them up into the they just sended them up with a thrust of their power, whatever they did. They just sending them up to the surface, and they got the bends, right? They the pressure, they couldn't take the pressure, they got the bends. This is what the chariots, the Mossad these are submerged, right? They call them submerged UFOs, underwater. And what did Ronald Reagan say, right? Because I'm just making a point. Yes, there's been run-ins. They've had run-ins with the angels, right? They've had run-ins with all the different types of angels, looking differently. And another thing as well, that how the Mossad gets down, he sends them their greatest fears. That's Isaiah 66. We may hit that one. He sends them their greatest illusions, and similar what he did with Pharaoh, right? When they was under the 10 plagues, sending them fearful delusions, apparitions. But I believe that these are angels, and they're being toyed with. The angels are toying with them, like in a lot of their so-called chilling interactions. This was in 1982 with the Soviet army. So I'm going to read what Ronald Reagan's quotes, one of his famous quotes. He said, Ronald Reagan famously said that if humanity were to face a threat from outside this world, a global difference would disappear. That's what he said. Our global difference would disappear. He also reportedly asks Mikhail Gorbachev during a 1985 summit what they would do if the United States were attacked by someone from outer space, to which Gorbachev replied that they would help. While Reagan's public statement were about unity in the face of potential alien threat, they also reflected his personal interest in the subject. So that's a famous quote by Reagan. No doubt there was a lot of others as well, you know, with the interactions. Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, just to name a few presidents that have been freaked out. Let me just say that. Been freaked out by what they're calling here interaction with UFOs. So the question I ask, right, when three of them men was pushed up to the surface and was deleted, they got deleted with the bends, and 4 of them was critically injured. The question that I ask is, what was they doing there, right? But the angels know what they was doing there. Here's Jeremiah 31 and 36 says, if those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation from before me. Right? What was they doing there? Was they trying to go down where they're not supposed to, go places where they're not supposed to? Right? As far as going down under the water or going up into space, as that famous Star Trek, not Star Wars, Star Trek quote, the beginning of Star Trek, which says, to go where no man has gone before. Space, the final frontier, to go where no man has gone before. Right? In this case, trying to go to the bottom of Lake Baikal, and they was messed up. They took a horrible L, and they tried to keep this one covered up, but things are coming out. Right? Reading on. Thus saith the Lord, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of the earth searched out, right? That's under the water, under the sea, or under the earth, or the core of the earth also, right? And the heavens, right, can be measured, and the foundation of the earth searched out, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel, for all they that have done, saith the Lord, of Israel for all that they have done, saith the Lord. And they're well aware of this challenge, right? The Edomites trying to go places where they're not supposed to go, and take things that don't belong to them, aka want to take reverse engineer this technology. They're so fascinated with it that they lose all sense of self and all sense of logic, and they end up getting messed up, right? And there's a lot more chilling interactions. This is just one I'm using, and I'm doing a video on it. I thought it was I found it intriguing myself, and with a lot more. So that's really all I wanted to bring out on that. Right? The wicked, the devil. Right? A lot of the things we're hearing now, right? Over in Babylon, a lot of it is distractions, right? And Revelations 12 and 12, right? They know they have a short time, but they're getting a lot else, right? Just to name a few interactions, right? The Most High is the Father of spirits. He controls everything, and those were deleted. No one dies innocently. Let's hit one more. Hebrews chapters 12 and 9 says, further, we have had fathers of our flesh which correct us and give them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? Right? The wicked, the Edomites, don't understand that. Right? They're always doing things they're not supposed to be going places they're not to be going, taking things that don't belong to them, and they end up getting all messed up. But this is just a taste of what's to come. Right? So UFOs underwater, yeah, UFOs, deep sea encounters, right? He be getting messed up, be taking L's, and there's a lot more other things that they be that's been classified that's now coming out about the wicked, right? So you be taking L's, and this is just a taste of what's to come. You wicked, trying to take things that don't belong to you. The Wada Yehovah Hashem Yoshai, Kala Yehovah, Hashem Yoshai, Hashem Rakah Kodash. Until the next one.